All right. I think we are live now. Sorry, I'm just kind of getting a few things together here. I'm trying to figure out how I see who's joining in on YouTube. As I'm hearing an echo. See, the Devil's in Details is here, which is cool. He's been very anxious and waiting all day. Not jumping right into the spin immediately. I'm going to give it a few minutes. How's my audio? I moved my mic a little closer from the video I did earlier today. It sounds better. Just comment. Awesome. Yeah, James, it's been so long. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people in here. That's cool. This is weird not doing this on Henry's channel. I figure to get a couple more people in here, we'll explain what the Wheel of Vengeance is, because we have been kind of keeping it a secret to patrons only and people that are in our Discord. We have been not wanting to show it to the public because we know that once we do, we're going to start seeing it copied, unfortunately. Because I say that because our first month that we did, I think we had 3 or 4 people in it. And this month we have 14 in it. So that's 14 names that will be on that. So sorry, James, but Mr. Mankini might be on hold. Or that, no, that's Aaron. Aaron wanted, was it you or Aaron that wanted good old Ali G, Mr. Borat himself, in that lime green, disgusting beachwear. And no, I'm not playing with my beard because I'm nervous. It's just a thing. If you have a beard, you know. So it definitely wasn't James. It was definitely Aaron. It's poor that it's Aaron. Yeah, it's definitely Aaron. Did Aaron get one made? I haven't seen it. Yeah, Slipstream knows what's up. Play with that beard. I didn't put any oil in today, but I've got actually, this thing right here that came in the mail today. It's I don't want to show my coupon, but it's a coupon for Live Bearded. Don't be stealing my 25% off code, y'all. But I get this stuff here, but it's the 1880 scent. I was gonna say flavor, but you don't really taste it. But it smells like sweet tobacco and like fresh cut cedar. It's pretty awesome. I've got a shampoo, conditioner, beard butter, and beard oil that I use from them. And it is off the chain. That's right. Having a beard is the only way to go. AJ, I'll have to message him to find out. But I guess that means we're safe from the Mankini being a part of the VS Studio lineup, because I'd be passing it on to somebody else to test print because I don't want to make that. I have not used Fable, but I've used Live Bearded, the Dollar Beard Club when they first came out. I don't know if they're even a thing anymore, but they had some pretty good stuff. AJ, if you do, post them in the Discord so I can see them. But when we're done here with the Wheel of Vengeance spin, we will do a little bit of chatting. If there's some people here to do that. Just talk about a few things. I don't want to talk about too much in particular, other than maybe answering a few questions, because I have mined for a couple videos in the next couple of weeks where they could be kind of lengthy, but I've got a couple topics that I'd love to share with you all because I got some things on my mind concerning a couple of things. Also, I have some few things I'd like to show off this evening. One of them being Django. I have some work in progress pics of the base that I came up with for Andre. And I'm not going to introduce Andre. He's not going to be on the video, but I did let him know that I would mention his name this evening. But I'm going to show you all the works in progress of Django. And for those who haven't seen the big base for 13 Ghosts, I'd like to show that as well after we do our spin. The D is silent. I'm just saying it like that one butthole who kept pronouncing the D, Django. But no, me and Andre have been going back and forth. I'll explain more about that in a minute. So we got 17 people watching, 7 minutes in. It's not bad. Hey, we've got 92 subscribers immediately, like within 2 days, 3 days, whenever I posted this. That we were moving forward. Part of my job is to come up with ideas. And the ideas are how to stay relevant, fresh, not make the Patreon boring. We pride ourselves in sticking out with a lot of the topics that we make. Excuse me. So Wheel of Vengeance is something that we think is pretty new to the 3D world, and we don't think anybody else is doing anything like it. So that's really cool. That was an idea I came up with December of last year, and kicked it off at the beginning of this year. So we've done it every month this year. Got a couple winners. Unfortunately, Mr. Devil's in Details, I don't know your real name, but you had the best and worst so far with being a first-time joiner for it, winning, and then landing on the unfortunate you lose option. Sorry to bring it up again. But you were a great sport about it. And I kind of hope you win tonight just because of that. No matter what the prize is, big or small, which I guess we can start talking about the Wheel of Vengeance before we do the spin. We have this thing that we call the Wheel of Vengeance. It's for our golden tier patrons only. It's $30 a month instead of our $15 and $20 tier. You get the perk of getting your name to be put on our Wheel of Vengeance, which I'll pull up in a minute. If your name is the one that it lands on, then you will get to spin the second wheel, which has the prizes on it. We did it on Henry's YouTube channel last month, so that was really cool that we had the opportunity to do that. But sorry, my daughter. I've been looking down this whole time. I got to remember I'm talking to people. My daughter made excuse me, made me a Lego man who's Batman, and she had to draw the beard and some tattoos. And I'm always wearing sleeveless shirts, so she made me a sleeveless Batman Lego man the other day and drew on it. So I was checking that out. But no, Wheel of Vengeance. Sorry. My voice is starting to go out. I was on the phone with somebody for an hour and a half a minute ago. Oh, Max is here. Just in time for all my voice problems. Now call me out on doing verbal typos. What do they call those? Anyway, so I'm going to pull up the Wheel of Vengeance here. Share screen. And as you all can see now, we have 14 people on this month. A couple of them have been there since day one. A few of them are new. A few of them are new to the Patreon, and then they went immediately into this tier. It used to be $35. We've recently dropped $5 on it when we did a couple of changes, when we revamped our logo and shortened our name from Vengeance Studios to VS Studio. Again, forgive me for coughing. But without further ado, I don't know what your volume's like. I did turn the volume on the music down, but we're about to spin this wheel, and we're going to see who gets to spin the golden Wheel of Vengeance to win their prize. But anyway, before we do, prizes could range from a bottle of resin, roll of filament, to a month's membership, to getting a statue made of your choice. So you can either do a character that is known to the world, or like one of our other patrons who previously was a winner of a contest got a custom character done. Max, if you want to get on this wheel, yes, you have to upgrade. Sorry. It's for golden tier only. Yeah. You chimed in as soon as my throat was messing up. But no, yeah, you have time because I haven't spun yet. Yeah, if you win and you pick a Twister model, it depends on how big that model is. You'd have to show me an idea of what you mean by a tornado or Twister to see if it's possible. But yeah, before we spin, if any of you do want to upgrade, now is the time. I just need to know so that I can add you to that wheel before I click the button, because I can add your name to the list. Give me 1 second. Got to multitask here. Got to double verify things. Max could be lying to me. Just kidding. He would never. All right, Max, you just upgraded. I'm going to get you on the wheel. You're just going to be Max. There you go. Right there. Your name's on the wheel. This is really cool. I found this website, Wheel of Names, where I got to create the wheel, add the prizes. So I have 2 separate wheels saved. And today, as you can see, it's got our new logo on it. And then when you see the next golden one, it's got a new image on it as well. Same prizes, but. And for those of you who are used to amazing YouTubers, I'm sorry, but I am not that guy yet. This is literally my 4th time ever doing something like this. 2 of them were on somebody else's channels a year apart from each other. And then I made a video earlier today, and this is number 4. So bear with me. I'm always nervous the first couple of minutes, but then I loosen up and don't care. But I do want to keep this a non-cussing channel just because you definitely don't make as much money in the future if your videos are full of language. You make more if there's less language. So I'm going to try my best to keep as many videos as I can with my language down, and I'm working on it as a personal goal for myself. But anyway, I'm watching these numbers fluctuate of who's coming and going, so appreciate it, man. I try to be a natural. I'm really a very open people person, so I don't know if James wants me telling you all, but I just spent an hour and a half on the phone with James Pike a few minutes ago while I was on my 2-mile walk. He's going to show off some paint-ups of a lot of Vengeance Studios models for us here in a video in the future. Max had a typo. Oh, you did have a typo. I'm pinning that one. Is there a way to bring it up on the... How do I bring that on? Oh, I can put you in timeout, Max, for your typo. All right, sorry. We probably have people in here who just want to see what this Wheel of Vengeance is. So, I've given the opportunity. One more signed up. I am an honest guy. I try to be. It's part of what me and James were just talking about. Anyway, so we've got 15 on that list. Right. When you're shooting the stuff, time flies. All right, so, all right, now, like I said, we've got 15 people. As you can see, this is who is on the list. We got Dougie the Puggy, Andrew Rose, Torsten Klaus. Sorry if I mispronounce any of these. The Devil's in Details, James Pike, Aaron Brock, Yogi Bear Club, Nate Moore, Travis Ramsey, Reggie, Brian Davis, Mark Hacker, Delirium, AJ405, and my good old buddy Typo Max. That's who you're going to be. I'm changing your name. All right. Here we go. I would do a drum roll, but I'm not doing it. Spinning. Yes, it did take me about 20 minutes to pick the song I wanted to play for this spin. I hope I made a good choice. Oh, no. Are you serious? Hold on. Nope. Oh, I thought Aaron was going to win it, too. Yogi Bear Cub. I don't know if he is even here. Yogi Bear, are you in here? I'm waiting to see if a comment pops up. I think Yogi Bear won before, if I'm not mistaken. And the odds are the same. No, they do not have to be present to get the prize. We spin for them, and we like doing it with people present. That's why we always try to go live in the Discord when we would do it. That way people wouldn't go, oh, you're just picking and choosing. So, yeah, no, I get it. Devils, I can see names, but not everybody uses the same name on all platforms. Hello, Stormy. I'm Lord Alistair and Stuart. Sorry, I was rolling through comments, checking out names, seeing comments that I missed. All right, well, now that we know who the winner is, let's go ahead and switch over to the new Golden Wheel of Vengeance. And as you can see, new golden logo here. And before we spin, I'll take people over a little glance of what is on each prize, in case it's not too visible in this video here. But you get a free head sculpt. So you can take any pre-existing model that you have and we'll make a head for it, whether it's of you, a loved one, a friend, a customer, or if you preferred a different actor from the model or whatever. However you want to do it, we'll do that for you. 3 months membership, free resin or filament in the total value of $30. Unless you're outside of the country, then we will just give you the 3 months membership since it's a $30 value. There's also a spin again option. So if you land on that, you get one more opportunity. There's a you lose spot. There's only one of those. There's double of everything except for the worst and best option. Those ones are singles. And it's because they're the best and worst. You have free resin and filament for the second time here. Then there's statue of the month, spin again, free head sculpt, and free month member. I don't like these lines. It almost makes it look cracked. Here we go. That looks better. It doesn't look all cracked out. The black and white one I think looked cool with the lines in it, but I'm not a fan of the lines on that other one. All right. Splurge and print it at 1/4 scale. What are you printing in 1/4 scale? I'm scrolling up. I don't see anything. Unless you're talking about printing Borat and his Mancinium 1/4 scale. That's gross. My head on Eddie's body, that would be fantastic. With my glorious beard and everything. All right, so let's go ahead and do it. Bacon's legs. Bacon's glasses. Oh, what is it gonna be? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Free head sculpt for Yogi Bear Club. Hey man, it's not all about winning. It's all about having fun. And that's what this channel's for. I don't like typing when I try to talk to you guys a lot. And I like to talk. I got a lot of brainstorming that happens in here, and this is a good way to get all that out. Yeah. Let's see if I can get a hold of him. Go to Patreon and message him. Sorry, I'm off focus now. I'm typing. Where's he at? Just have to type his name. Yogi Bear. Yogi Bear. Yeah, he did. He won 2 months ago. He got a he won a 3 months membership. Get to inform him he wasn't present for it, and now I get to let him know he was present again, or he won again. Doesn't the head sculpt doesn't need to be for any specific model either. You can literally just ask us to make you a specific person's head in whatever scale, or we'll probably do it in 1/6 scale. Then you can scale it to whatever size you need. All right, so now that we've got the, can you imagine you are a new fan of BS or scrolling on Cults for another model to buy and you found the Jordy card? Oh, that's fantastic. That's right. You need a whole army of support, so hold that thing up. It's not really that big. I've had way better, but this is a fresh start on a way better. I should take a screenshot of this so I can show it to Yogi Bear. I don't want to make him waste his his head sculpt here and get a, he shouldn't get a head sculpt of me. If somebody wins a full body, that would be insane. I don't know how Macon would feel about sculpting his legs or Eddie's torso and then my head. All right, let's do some. I'll show y'all some stuff. Then we'll do Q&A. Let's see. Let me close that one. And then gotta open this window first. I gotta go to the image. So for those who have not seen, the full base for the 13 Ghost, I will give you guys a little something here. We posted it in the Discord. I don't know if we posted it on Patreon just yet, but and for those of you who do not know, we just got done with a 13-month lineup with a ghost each month from the 13th Ghost, starting with the firstborn son and ending with the broken heart, and then everything else in between. Here is the base for all 13 Ghosts. So I hope those people that did it at 1/6 scale have a big printer. I haven't got to look at the parts. Macon had just sent me the files, so I haven't had the opportunity to look at them yet. But as you can see, the broken heart trio is in the middle with firstborn son and literally working our way around all the ghosts. You can see the overhead view here as well. James wanted to have all the metal parts of the floor rotating, but I told him no. Sorry. You were not seeing anything? Dang, I just did all that explaining and nobody was able to see it? I don't think letting people only win once out of 3 months is fair either, because it's all chance. Oh, so y'all are just staring at my face. And that's right, that glorious beard. You want a close up? All right, so give me a second and I will pull it back up because I just closed that window. There's some Batman Crocs on Facebook. I want those so bad. Batmobile Crocs. Have y'all seen those? Anyway, all right, let's do. Present, share screen. Oh, I never hit the share. That's why. My fault. Can we see now? All right, cool. I don't think I need to explain it all again. But as you can see, you got the broken heart trio here in the middle. And then you start here with the firstborn son and works its way around. And then again here from this top view. And James wanted the whole moving floor thing. And I told him no. All right, that's the fast version. Hey, this camera here it's doing the job. It's 720p. It said it was 1080, but I don't believe it. I also didn't even check to see if there was a way to change quality on the stream. And I'm using the same thing Henry uses. Oh, camera resolution. Yeah, it's at says I'm already live in 720. It doesn't let me change it. I should have changed it before. But I don't believe it really does 1080. I think it lies to me. But yeah, that's the big base for the Ghost. Yeah, James made all those bases. Go fund me for a camera. That's why I've been partially outsourcing to AJ here to help me. AJ's been doing some of the test printing for us. He's working on Alfred currently. I double checked the models though, didn't see any issues, so I went ahead and pre-supported and released early. I hope that you guys are okay with us doing that sometimes, because we've been doing this, for over 3 years, going on 4 years now. We got a pretty good standing in our models, so we kind of know what to look for, whether it's pre-supported or not, or not pre-supported, but whether it's tested or not. Because like I said, we've been doing this. I've been looking at models every single day, 360 days a year, or probably 350 due to vacations. But yeah, we got I'm gonna close that one out since we're done there. So yeah, I've went ahead and there's been a couple models over this past year that we've released without the test being done first, but test comes in later. It's costly on me to have to print the 4 and 5 models. Plus, if I had anybody message me to print them something in between, it's just a lot of resin to go through every single month. And part of what we mentioned earlier was having somebody come on full time to be a printer or a test printer, which would be really cool. It would be very helpful. But in time we'll get there. But so for now, I outsource occasionally. I've had help from a couple patrons. But AJ's been kind of the consistent one the last couple. He just did the 13th Ghost for us. And, I've asked him if he would want to take it on full time once we can gain probably another 100 members in the Patreon. Maybe if we get to 300 on a regular basis, we can afford to hire them, because we don't expect anybody to do it for free. Buy a camera for Jordan's on the wheel. That's kind of cheating, though. That's a prize for me. I'm glad Alfred's getting a good reception. When you pick a really boring character like that, it's very hard to make him not boring. So I came up with the idea of a not boring Alfred by kind of the backstory behind it is funeral just happened a few days ago, and um, Alfred is coming to console slash bring something to drink for Bruce, and Bruce is basically sulking on the ground in front of a fire, and the fire is foreshadowing the future by having the shadow cast a Batman silhouette on the floor, which I thought helped bring the whole thing to life versus just having Alfred in a clock or Alfred in the bookcase. It wasn't going to be anything special that way. So I put together an idea on one of these programs on the computer that I use to send Eddie the idea for Alfred. And I did delete it. I don't want to show you some of these early concepts because some of them are not good. I will, in the future, since some of y'all have asked for a beginning to end on how we come up with some of these ideas, I will show y'all a picture of some of my concepts. Some of them are, I may have one sitting here, but some of them are kind of crappy drawings that it's just the best way to show, and explain to the artist on how to make a little bit of idea into a good idea. Give me a minute. I don't think I have them. If they did, they were on a smaller piece of paper. I do draw, or I used to draw. I don't really draw anymore. But so that's not an idea for a statue, but these were the last two drawings that I did right before I got my first 3D printer. So because I know I have the Bruce Wayne reflections drawn somewhere here. Or at least I did at one point. Like I said, I think I threw them away. Yeah, I threw them away. Anyway, so in the future, I'll draw up a concept, or I'll show you guys one of the concepts and what I send to the artist. A couple of them, I'll let the artist have their free reign on what they would like to do with the character. I'll just say, hey, you familiar with so and so? Yeah, cool. Do something like this, and then have at it. Throw in your own tweaks. Make it a VS product and not somebody else's. Like Constantine, we took the idea from the Sideshow model, but it being Keanu Reeves, it's already a completely different statue. So, and then adding the demons, like it made it not Sideshows. We don't like to copy other people's work. We never will. Let's see. You got to go back through and read these comments. Oh, you didn't even notice the shadow on the ground? Oh, yeah. That's what makes the whole statue awesome. Max, I use for my FDM printing, which I do on like large bases, or even the Jaws boat. Joker's base up there behind me has an FDM base. I use the Anycubic Cobra 2 Max for FDM, and then for resin printing, I use the Anycubic M3 Maxes, which, again, I'll make a video on pre-supporting, and then I'll show getting prints off of the printer so that you guys can see my resin printers are not little, and when a screen goes out, it's $200 for just the screen. Like, they're big. And then I think a new plate is like $75. They're not cheap. The printers, whenever they first came out, I think were $1,300. They've now dropped. I think they're $800 now, maybe even less. They're big. Yeah, try to find parts for the M3 Max kind of suck. I had when I put on the new LCD screen onto the printer, I plugged everything back in, cranked the printer back on, and I heard the beep, but then I didn't see the red light inside come on that's supposed to come on. And I smelled what smelled like a burning smell, so I unplugged it and then unplugged the screen real quick and took the screen from my other, because I have two M3 Maxes. I took the screen from the other one and plugged it in and was hoping I didn't just fry two screens, and turned it on and it came on fine. So I had a malfunction, but it fried my front LCD screen, which I emailed Anycubic about, and they did not want to just give it to me for free. So I had to pay for the front, but they did send me a new LCD printing screen with the, where the black lights shine through. They did send me another one of those with not an additional charge. And that same screen just died on me again a couple weeks ago, so I've been down to one resin printer. I don't know if y'all saw, but Macon was in the comments a little bit ago. Yeah, I hate that. It's technology, though, so what are you going to do? It's part of the hobby. You got to keep the maintenance of the printers. It just sucks when you can have a screen that lasts for a year and then turns around and doesn't last a day. All right, so before we continue the chit chat, which is supposed to be the end of the video, I'm moving on to Django. I know it's pronounced Django. I have the movie. I love the movie. I love the small details about that movie, like when Leonardo DiCaprio slapped the table, hit that glass, and broke his, or cut his hand open, and they just kept filming. Max, why are you asking me weird questions? It's a Cali vape. It's I have a blue raspberry lemonade that I don't like, but I tried it and I'm not gonna just throw it away. But I prefer the tobacco flavor. But yeah, back to Django. Tobacco's where it's at. I don't like all those fruity flavors. I've shown on the Discord the head sculpt. So the artist behind Django is the same guy who created there's a Trinity model from Matrix out there, where she's standing on the base. She's pointing the gun, and the bottom of the base says "Dodge this," and her legs are kind of spread. It's a still from the movie. It's fantastic looking. He designed that, and then he did a Rorschach from Watchmen recently. He's also done a very awesome Clint Eastwood model that we showed. We showed all of these on Henry's channel last month. So y'all have seen his work. Now y'all have seen the Django head sculpts that we've posted in the Discord. But now I will show you it's not done by any means. Okay, this is still a work in progress. And he almost didn't want me to show it because of how early it is, but the idea's there. He threw on some color onto it for me. He's kind of, the head's almost done, but he still has to do a lot of details from the neck down. Still has to adjust some stuff on the head. As you'll see, the hair's kind of popping through the back of the hat a little bit. So give it a few weeks. It's going to release in October. He's going to be our first special guest artist model, which only people in the $20 and $30 tier, the Super Vengeance and Golden Vengeance, will get. $15 tier members will not get this. It's one of the perks of paying the extra couple bucks. It's not every month. We're hoping it can be every month in the future, but we can't afford to bring in an artist every single month. So we're going to aim for every other month to have a special guest artist. So $10 every 2 months gets you an extra model is hopefully what we're trying to do here. So let me share and show you the Django. Do you want me to show you, or you want me to tell you the idea and then show you to explain it? Because we don't just make a model. We have a story or the idea and then the model. Screw it, I'm just going to tell you. All right, so the end of the film, when Django has his awesome shootout, he blows away countless dudes, gets captured, and then blows up Quentin Tarantino and his crazy Australian accents. And he goes back to Candyland. And then when Steven, Samuel L. Jackson's character, comes walking in and sees him standing at the top of the steps, he's wearing Leonardo DiCaprio's outfit because he went digging through his closet and put on his digs. And there's a moment where he says something. He's like, I only count one gun. And then he pulls out 2 guns and shows off 2 guns. So that's part of the statue. But then also, when he goes outside after he's killed everybody, he walks outside and he's getting ready to blow the house up. And he just stands there all proud of what he's just done and how he's just overcame Candyland. That's the idea behind the statue, because there's already a Django model out there by an artist that some of you have seen, because he was going to possibly join BS before we brought in Eddie, and he turned it down. But so we didn't want to copy that. We didn't want to use the same outfit either, which is the outfit that's on that model is the main outfit he wears almost the entire movie, his bounty hunter outfit. So we wanted to, be different, and that's where we got this from. So without further ado, you said show and tell. Time to show. So as you can see, the hair sticking through the hat. It's not quite done. So he's still got some details on the head. But that is the head of Django. And now, so the base was hard. Okay, it was hard to make possible. I'm going to explain the base before I show the base, before I show the whole statue. I wanted Candyland blowing up. I really wanted to have Candyland blowing up, but that would take away the focus of Django. So it's kind of on the same lines of our Maverick model, where Maverick is big and he's on a tanker, but the tanker's small planes. So it's a small house. It's the small Candyland blowing up, and a 3D effect of the letters Django coming out of the explosion, and Django standing there with 2 options: hands on the hips, all proud of what he just done, just like he is when he blows up the house and he's looking at the explosion. Or you can do 2 guns up, and I'll show you. Sorry, I have to pull the video up before I share the screen. So as you can see, there's letters coming out of the explosion. Of the house. That's 2 guns up. And so how this works is there's going to be 2 heads, one with the glasses and hat, and then as you saw, one without the glasses and hat. I think we're going to try to make the glasses their own piece like we did with Harley Quinn, so that you can have the hat and no glasses, or the glasses and no hat. So it'll make like 4 options basically. But here is the other pose, and then the arms are what's going to swap out as well. I think the guns are going to be their own pieces that slide into the holsters, if I'm not mistaken. And Andre Reuter is, I think it's how you pronounce his name. He is the artist behind this. I don't think I mentioned his name a minute ago. So those are the 2 versions of Django that we're going to have. Oh, it's definitely passion. I love this so much. Like, I wish I had the skills myself to sculpt these things, but I see why a lot of, patrons can only do 1 or 2 models a month, whenever it's just the artist themselves doing what I do for my job, and then what Macon and Eddie do every month. Like, and I think this is better because we can provide more, we can do more, we can respond more, we can respond quicker. We can fix things faster because it's not just all on one person. So we all play a part. We don't need or want to be the biggest out there. Do we want to grow more? Absolutely. These were big commitments. 2 of the 3 of us, me and Eddie both, this is all we do now. Macon is hoping after December, after Christmas time, he will be able to full-time into the Patreon as well. A lot of people think it's easy to do, even just my part, but it's a lot. I have to upload all the models to Cgtrader every month. I have to upload them to Cults3D every month. Just to release them, I have to upload them, the photos, the pictures, to Gumroad. I have to interact and speak with you guys on a daily basis to make sure that people don't get ignored, so that we hopefully don't miss anything, like messages or whatnot. It's a lot. Absolutely. The guest spot is to bring in something different, but to be the same, because it's still me putting the idea together for the artist, so it's still the same kind of brain behind the models most of the time, when it's on me to pick. But I also let the artist have some creative freedom too. Like, I wanted to just do hands on the hips, and then Andre came up with, well, what if we do 2 guns up? But I didn't want the stairs. I wanted the Candyland exploding base. So we put the ideas together, and we've been discussing all night about hand positions for both options to make it to where only the arms have to be the swap outs to make it whichever version you choose. Sounds good, Max. I'm probably gonna go to bed after this video, so I can respond tomorrow or tonight if I don't fall asleep. We'll see. people are dropping off. I get it. It's been an hour and it's late. Most live chats for me will probably be probably after 9 o'clock at least, just because I've got a daughter that's 10 years old and doesn't quite understand what this means. Like, she saw the video earlier that I posted and she goes, "Oh, you're famous." And I was like, not really. I thought it was funny. It's cute. I mean, she's 10. She's definitely got my creativeness. She's learning how to crochet. She's made a couple cool little things. She's the one who made my little Lego man I showed off earlier. But no, so I want to do them when she's in bed at least, which is typically 9 o'clock. And then I'll let the son know to go to his room or something, take the dogs there so they don't bark at neighbors and ruin the live video. But whenever I go to make videos, I'll probably make them either in the morning or at night. And then if I do them at night, they'll post the next day. Or if I make the video early enough in the day, I will post them for that afternoon or that evening. I'm sorry. I'm trying to stay close to this mic so the sound stays fresh. But my kids see my work all the time. And it was cool to go, "Oh man, you're famous." I'm like, no. And like I said in that video earlier, this isn't to be a big channel. Like, the goal's not like, "Oh, let's get 1 million subscribers and have ads and promotions and all this stuff." So it's like, it's just meant to be like just a community, a place to, because not everybody wants Discord, but most everybody has YouTube. So we wanted a place to be able to tease, maybe have a new outsource for outreach for new patrons, for people to find us who didn't know about us. Besides Henry, I don't think any other patron has a YouTube channel. And Henry's was reversed. Henry was a YouTube channel that became a Patreon. And, I spoke with him a couple weeks ago on the phone for a little while. And we discussed some things. I'm not going to say anything yet because we haven't really fully discussed in details with anything and if we're going to do what we've talked about. But yeah, we just wanted a place to be able to watch, hang out, talk, post different things. Should add the Facebook, Instagram, VS page to the YouTube channel links though. It is when you go to the I didn't do the Facebook. That you right, Facebook and Instagram. I see what you mean now. Yeah, I've got the links for where to buy the models, but not where to follow us on social medias. Like I said, I'm new to this. I do appreciate that because I didn't think to do that. So that's something, and it sucks because you have to add it to each video when you go to upload it before you upload it. You can go back and edit it, but it's a lot to remember. And I see why Henry struggles to get videos out every week. But we're gonna be different, but kind of the same as what Henry's got going on. I like the vibe of his channel, of having people commenting and talking, and I don't know how often you guys want to do this. I know Henry tries to go live once a week. I was thinking of doing the same thing. I definitely won't do it on Thursdays with his timestamp because he's kind of got that set, and I don't want to interfere. So he even let me post the link in his Facebook group just to get the word out there. Like I said earlier, we haven't shown off the Wheel of Vengeance outside of Patreon and Discord, and now that it's all over Facebook, I'm I'm saying it now. You'll probably see something similar pop up on other people's Patrons. Oh, that's smart. I will do that. That'll be on my list of things to do tomorrow since we're done with September models. We will release the base for 13 Ghosts tomorrow. I'm gonna look at the parts, and if it all looks simple. Like it almost looks like you could just print it in pieces flat on an FDM printer or even flat on a resin printer. You just might ding it trying to get it off the resin plate. But I've seen people print flat on their resin plates with no supports all the time. So it being that, I don't know if we need to pre-support it. We don't want to do release dates for models each month, if that's what you're talking about, because we don't want to make promises that we can't keep. We've seen people go, oh, we know that this was supposed to release then, but we don't want to, we can't yet because it's not ready. I'd rather just say towards the end of the month, especially, like in October, we're going to get the animated series character before the Universal Monster character because Eddie wants to do Poison Ivy first, which I'm not going to show y'all the concept for her, but I think it's going to be sweet. It's another one that I came up with because me and Eddie were trying to brainstorm ideas, and I sent him a couple of the ideas, and I saved my best one for last, and it's the one that he liked the most. So that's what we're going to go with. And the only hint that I will give to it is I needed to find an image of somebody with their arms out, almost like they were floating, but not like Superman, where he floating, but like I needed something kind of like so. And the best rendition I could find was of Jesus. So he got a concept with Jesus as what should be Poison Ivy. That's all I'm going to say. But we'll get that before we get, I think it's Wolfman. Yeah, Wolfman's one. So Wolfman will come out the end of October. Poison Ivy probably halfway of the month because Eddie does 2 models for us each month. And Macon is busting butt on some Jon Snow, as I've seen in these comments already. Max, we did do a Scarecrow from the Dark Knight. It was one from a former artist that we will have to redo because it wasn't all that great. Kinda. I didn't quite think of that. I'm not going to spoil it, but that's all I'm going to show you. That's all I'm going to talk about Poison Ivy. We have no concept for Wolfman yet because Eddie's really not familiar with the characters. And that one is... of all the previous months, I haven't even looked at them. Anyway, so Wolfman is... it's going to be a tricky one because there's already quite a bit of like resin kits and vinyl kits of the old school Wolfman, and ours isn't an exact copy of the old monsters, but our own version in a sense. Like it's got similarities to the actors, but we're not aiming for exact copies because unfortunately the big guys are doing the same thing now. So we're going to do each month telling us the release tomorrow. Great. We're doing the Universal monsters specifically for the time. I don't know if we're going to go past 5. We might do 5 or 6 of them. We want to get the main ones. Might do the Bride of Frankenstein, even though I've kind of been seeing her pop up everywhere recently. But I really think once we nail, like, it might be 7 of the Universal monsters, and then we'll move on to something else, because the animated series line is going to be far longer than probably the Ghost, for sure. Because you got to think, besides the Bruce Wayne, all we've done is villains, and we're hoping we did Alfred this month, so we've done Alfred, Bruce, 3 villains. So it's not too bad of a far-fetched thing, but we want to try to do a couple of villains and then some good guys, and then villains and then some good guys. But we want to get not totally off the beaten path. We want to do most of the main characters and then a couple of the off characters. We do want to do Gordon for sure. I don't know about Harvey Bullock, but for sure a Gordon. For sure a Man-Bat. For sure Robin. Both. I would say both versions, but we might do 3. Just depends. Maybe do a diorama of all 3 Robins that could be on solo basis, but it could be together. And we want to do a Nightwing. Clayface could be cool, but I don't know. It's kind of boring. I've seen a few out there which are cool, and it's hard to make Clayface look not the same as every other Clayface. Definitely Mr. Freeze. Definitely Bane. I don't think we're going to do Mad Hatter. He's not really a favorite of mine. He never has been. Catwoman, for sure. We might even do a special Phantasm just because it's the same universe. Clayface would take a lot of material, but to me, he's just a big brown blob with Sandman features. He's not really exciting to me. I mean, it's not ultimately always up to me, but we do have to kind of have some guidelines. That's why we're doing votes with specific characters and including specific ones, because they're the ones that we think will have the best. Creature from the Black Lagoon will be a part of the monsters. Killer Croc's a maybe. That I feel like we could do something cool with that, but his design from the animated series was kind of lacking. So we may take that and add a little to him, a little bit more detail, because he didn't have a lot. So if we do a Killer Croc, it'll be something a little bit off the same path, but still, you'd still look at it and go, that's part of the animated series without a question. And I don't think Robin gets enough love. There's a couple Robins out there for sure that have been designed over the years, but not animated series Robin. And I don't know if we want to do Batman and Robin together, or where they could be separate and also together. These are all things that we're trying to come up with. And if we can get to 500 patrons, I think that's the number that we decided on. Once we hit 500, we will reach for a new artist to join us, to get 3 artists on here. We won't increase the amount of models by a drastic amount, but maybe 2 more, because that's what we were hoping to get everybody to do, to have a solid 6 models each month, each artist making 2 models. And then that way, Eddie can just focus on 2 animated series characters. Macon can focus on our hyper-realistic characters, and then new artists can do comic style, fan art, anime, whatever it is. Or if he's got the capability, he or she has the capability of going the kind of superhero comic cartoon style that Eddie's doing, and then if they can do the realism that Macon is capable of doing, we want that third person to be able to do both. That way they can be flexible on which models they do each month with us. Okay, so Ghost Rider, that's a great idea, actually. Dang it, man. I just have a now reading that, my mind's thinking of Clayface idea now. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Oh man. This okay, Clayface could be cool. Well, it's what my mind does too, but like I have to turn it off when I'm sitting here at the computer doing certain things. But when it's time to come up with a model idea, sometimes I'll have brain farts. So I try to write things down. I'll shoot myself a message on Facebook to come look at to remind me. But yeah, so we've talked about Django. We've talked about the Wheel of Vengeance, the Ghost Base. No sticky notes for me. I don't do that. I would literally have them all over my office. So we could talk about okay, so I see these Brutal Legend comments. The only problem with that is the niches are or niches, however you want to say it, they're exactly that. Like when 3D printing started, everyone wanted a Pikachu or Grogu from Mandalorian. Now nobody wants that because they're saturated. But then there's stuff like I had a really cool concept for the artist Ronnie Radke from the band Falling in Reverse, which I thought would be a really cool statue, but I don't see many people wanting that. The 2000 AD, isn't that basically Judge Dredd? Because I thought I looked at that the other day and I wasn't impressed with what I saw. I just skimmed a quick Google, so I could be way wrong, but no, thank you. We don't do anything with big boobs. We never will. The only one that had big boobs was the Ghost. And that was because it was mandatory. And it wasn't in a sexual way by any means. Well, that's a topic for another day, but me and Henry have discussed it. We will never over sexualize the character. Musician lineups could be cool, but it just depends. Like we've done Elvis so far, and it had okay reception. We watched the sales on Cults and 3D and Cgtrader to kind of see. I haven't checked on them recently, and then we look at the downloads on Gumroad from patrons because not everybody downloads every model. Some of them don't care for things. So we take these numbers into consideration when deciding if we keep going with something or if we have to cut it off. Like some people left because we stopped making Batman stuff for a while because a lot of people really wanted other things besides Batman. And we get it. We don't just want to make Batman. But being our name, Vengeance Studios, me having a big Batman tattoo on my back and most of my statues being Batman related and clothing items having Batman on it. I'm a huge Batman fan, so I'm like, Batman is what started us as well with DeVito's Penguin, Pfeiffer's Catwoman, Keaton's Batman, Arnold's Freeze. Like that was our beginning days, and so we wanted to branch off of that into the Patreon. And I think that was a great idea. And we got this whole Batman universe lineup where we've done all of the characters from Batman Forever, just not both versions of the suit for Batman, because we did Riddler, we did Carey's Riddler, we did Tommy Lee Jones's Two-Face, and then we did Kilmer's Sonar suit, and then we have the Robin. So that completed that one, and then the only one, and then we have Bane and Poison Ivy from Batman and Robin. So we need, unfortunately, Bat Nipples, or Bat Clooney Nipples, Bat Nipples Clooney, whatever you want to call them, Alicia Silverstone, Batgirl, and then Holy Skates on Ice Robin. James, that is a cool idea too. We've thought about that. That will be something that we could possibly look into once we complete the Batman universe. Because we would like to do a new Keaton model, because the Keaton model we have is not by anybody who's with us. That was an outsourced model from the beginning that was brought in from a crowdfunded model me and Eric Sosa did. So we would like to do an 89, because that was technically Batman Returns suit. So we'd like to do a Keaton Batman at some point in the near future. Like we just did Penguin. So we've fulfilled some Batman. We did the Batman's Riddler this year. And then we did 1997 Bane. So we got the worst of the worst Bane out of the way. So it's all uphill from here. So Iron Maiden. I'm guessing a lot of you guys are 40 and plus. I'm only 34. Batman What If World could be cool, but we don't want to overdo it with Batman currently, because like I said, we're doing the animated series currently, and then we're sprinkling in with Macon the Batman universe stuff. So we have to redo Scarecrow. We will probably redo the Batman's Catwoman, because she wasn't top notch, and she's also 3 years old. So, but we don't want to keep remaking a bunch of models. We redid the Jaws because the first one was an abomination. At some point, we would like to redo Tony Soprano, because that one, we weren't thrilled with that either. But yeah. Yeah, that Jaws is sick. I'm looking over at it. I would like to do a King Kong versus Godzilla 2, but again, I look at the market and look at what others are making, because we don't want to have the common, everybody's releasing the same character on 6 different patrons every month, or back to back to back, where, Cgtrader does the character, then Nacho does a character, Kuton does a character, Wicked does a character, we do a character, and it's all the same character. Like, nobody wants 5 models of Solid Snake back to back to back. Big smoke. I would like to do the trio from GTA 5 that was put on. And no, I'm so sorry. The Tombstone thing. Yes, I did print Tombstone. And that was in our first That was right before we launched our Patreon. That was actually designed by Carlos Eduardo from Cgtrader Link. I paid him per model to do those 4, and then make a base, and then they eventually became part of the Patreon. They're just part of our backlog. Like, they're not for any specific months, terms, or anything like that. Just people who get to the 6 months, get the dioramas from our backlog. They get Tombstone. That's there. Beetlejuice is there. There's so much. There's so much we want to do. There's so much out there. But like I said, we have to be careful with the topics because we don't want something that only 5 people out there would like. Like Goonies. Nobody was making Goonies. There's one other Goonies diorama out there. I looked at it. It's not that good. It's not to diss the artist. I don't know how old it is, but ours is definitely better. Yeah. I'm reading comments again. When I go quiet and you see me staring, I'm reading. Trying to make sure I don't miss anything. I don't know how to highlight comments like he does. Oh, that would be cool. The main characters from GTA as a diorama, that'd be cool. I don't know the nameless dude from, I forget, not nameless, but voiceless dude from GTA 3. I don't remember who he is, but I do remember Tommy Vercetti, CJ. GTA 4 was Vito, not Vito. Speaking of Vitos, I'd really love to do a Vito Corleone because I think there's 1 or 2 out there. I mean, unfortunately, the idea I wanted to do is the one that's already out there, but so we'll have to come up with something else. Nico, that's his name. Nico from GTA 4. Yes, this is my cousin Nico. Come, Nico, we live the American dream here in this crappy apartment. I love that game. And that's the only feature missing from GTA 5 was the best feature of GTA 4 where you smash something so hard you go flying through a windshield. GTA 6 better have that. I better be able to fly through a windshield and be able to get eaten by an alligator. If those features aren't in it, I don't know what they took 18 years for. 3 consoles of generations. You can't have me flying out the windshield, getting chomped on by gators while dude does American flag underwear is waving a rebel flag. Devils, that's exactly my point. If 7 patrons are released in the same model, like what's the point? You know, we don't ever want to be late with ours, delivering you a model a month or 2 later on. We want to be able to do immediately. With the new Mafia coming out, you know, I don't want to jump on it too early because we haven't really got to see who the playable character is yet. But Mafia 2, oh, that was my shiz back in the day. I love some Mafia 2. Mafia 3 was the storyline for Mafia 3 was amazing. But the gameplay sucked. It was the same 2 or 3 different missions on repeat. And for a game that was made that late in video game history, the driving mechanics were terrible. Yes, the Godfather game was the shiz as well. you played some outsider working your way up to becoming the Dawn. That game was fantastic. They basically took that formula for Mafia 3, and that was Mafia 3, was Godfather all over again. But I loved Godfather back then because they didn't just have the same 3 missions. They took 3 missions from Mafia or from the Godfather, and that's how they made Mafia 3. But the graphics were beautiful. The storyline was great. True crime, streets of LA. You have the right to soak in your own urine. I love that game. But yeah, no, that's where my inspiration comes from, is the history, nostalgia, like my childhood, the things that I remember everyone talking about and loving, people that are around my age. You got almost 10 years on me, Max, and I'm sure some of you are a little older. Not to like call you out on that, nothing wrong with it. You're just more seasoned than us. But there's so much. And yes, we did a Scarface. It's part of the backlog. There's so much that we could do. And like I said, we don't want to keep doing the same model, like redos over some of our older ones, but there's a few we would like to go back and redo like we did with Tommy Shelby. If it benefits everybody and y'all are very appreciative and really want the specific redo, like the Tony Soprano, I really want to redo that. I think it could be way better than it turned out. Especially after we just did that Penguin model. I think it's glorious. I'm watching the show. I love looking over at the statue. It's over there. But excuse me. It's midnight here now. But yeah. And we've been on here for a minute too. Hour and a half. That's not bad for first live stream. Had a solid 12 to 14 people in here. Well, we can do Sopranos because the first one didn't end up like we wanted it to. So next time we'll consider it. But no, we've got Dutch from Red Dead. Like that's gonna be cool. And I don't know if I've told y'all, but the next Peaky Blinders installment will be Polly Gray. Sadie's on the list for Red Dead. And for I don't know if we're gonna do Michael as the last Shelby model or the last Peaky Blinders model, but we're gonna do Polly for sure next. It'll be after the new year unless she's able to be squeezed in January or in December, but I don't think she's going to be able to be squeezed in December. There's a lot. And I don't want to reveal too much. I mean, I've already posted a lot of what we're doing the rest of this year. We're going to do a Blade, and I know that I just saw a post for a Blade. I'm not sure who the artist was. But it's supposed to be Blade from the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. And it doesn't look like Wesley Snipes to me at all. The body looks great. The suit looks great. Hair looked great, but likeness wasn't there for me. But Blade's in our future before the end of this year, and he will be a young and old Blade. We'll have a swap out head for him. I've already discussed this idea with Macon. And we're also going to do Men in Black, Dio, Jon Snow, as you've seen. And I just started watching Yellowstone, so we might be sprinkling in some Yellowstone characters. I'm not far into it at all. Like literally like the first episode, but I'm liking what I'm seeing. And that's where I get a lot of the. We'll talk more of the inspiration for characters, but a lot of it's based on nostalgia and just things that seem to have a great following, but aren't your everyday like Supermans, you know, Spider-Mans. Go to Google STL and look at 100 and still find new things after those. So we want to go. We like the different, popular but different. Like I know you guys want Kurt Russell and The Thing, so that's probably early next year, but I don't want to reveal too much. But those of you in the Discord, feel free to keep throwing in suggestions in the suggestion tab. Remember that that's all it is a suggestion. It's not guaranteed to be made, but we do want to make you guys happy every month. So we do try to pull from that as often as we can. But as an artist, they like to make certain things as well. Macon has the skill to make almost anything, but his heart's not in it with some things. Just like when an artist goes to draw a picture or paint a canvas, they don't want to always just do what other people want. They have to have their own inspiration at times, which is where Jon Snow and Wolf are coming from, which actually I haven't shown you guys. I'm going to do that. I've only shown you guys the teaser of Jon, and that last teaser of Jon that I showed was only, oh, don't even talk to me about Gangs of New York yet, bro. We're working on that. I don't know what Young Guns is, but I know what Gangs of New York is, and I need a Bill the Butcher, like now, with his American Eagle eye. The random poll for ideas is, we tried it a couple times, but everybody else does that. That's why we just do the selection tab, and then we just like to surprise everybody. But let me pull on the last Jon Snow teaser that I showed everyone. That was an edited photo. I didn't show you all the actual statue. I erased Ghost from the image and only showed you half body of Jon. So I will go ahead and show those who are watching. Y'all will be the first to see the full idea for Jon Snow. Don't know if we're going to do more Game of Thrones characters. It seems to have a lot of hype behind it. I mean, we've already seen some, so we don't know if we're going to continue because there's already a few, Daenerys Stormborns out there. I think I've seen one Khal Drogo. I don't think it was any good though. But if we do these, it's not going to be the same one, like the most important players immediately. Like personally, I want to do a Robb Stark. I think a Robb Stark model would be awesome, just because he was becoming a badass until he got screwed over. Dang, I just cussed. I'm sorry, YouTube. See, there's a few out there of the Night King already, and I just don't know if we do it, it's got to be something cool. If we do Ramsay, he's going to be waving a sausage. And right, I don't think I've seen a Jaime Lannister, so that's on the list of things that I would want to do. Ramsey Bolton with the dogs is too cool. We can't make him cool. We got to make him a meme and just make him waving the sausage. But this is what Macon wanted to make. He's been feeling it, and he's putting his heart into this model. The cloak will be removable. For those who do not want to print the cloak, you do not have to. There's a lot of cool ideas that we could do from Game of Thrones, and if the love is there, we'll do them like without an issue. But like I said, we don't want to be making models that everyone can already Google and find 5 of immediately. I always forget how to pronounce the guy who played Jamie's real name. It's like Russian. But he was in a movie that I think would make some cool statues, but it's kind of messed up. And it's a movie called Shot Caller. I don't know if y'all have seen it, but I only watched it because he was in it, and that movie was insane. John Burton was in it too. Throwing up hearts. The love is there. Do it. We'll do our best for sure. To do some. You got to remember, there's only 3 of us here, so it's hard to pump out as much as we would want. We don't want to be the patrons pumping out 15 models a month. At least not yet. That's a lot on me. That's a lot on those artists. I mean, it's insane. But I do think the more we grow, the more we can offer. That could be cool. Quality over quantity is good, yes. But at the same time, the Patreon's got to have a benefit of getting the best bang for your buck. And if you're only getting two models a month, you could just basically, what's the point of having the Patreon? You can just buy them solo off of websites for 15, 20 bucks a piece, and you're basically paying the same amount. So I think with us doing 4 or 5 models for the prices that we're going to do, I don't think we're ever going to change our prices anymore, because we've gone through a couple of different cycles of different tiers trying to figure out what worked out the best. And I think what we've got now is pretty good, because we have those who don't necessarily want to upgrade until we start providing more, which is understandable. Like I said, we've set some goals for us in terms of what we want to see the Patreon do and grow. We would really like to hit that 500 mark by the end of this year. I don't know if it's going to happen. It would be great if it did. I'm sure you guys can do math and figure out, looking at how many patrons we have and what we charge, what our income is. But you got to remember, that's split 3 different ways. So the income's only a third of what people see. So people may think that we're making good money, but in reality, we're making just basically what we would make at a pizza place somewhere, like I used to do every month. So you got to think, some of these artists out there are charging $500-$600 to make a good sculpt. That's per sculpt, and Macon pumped out that Jaws for pennies. Like that's the truth, for pennies. Because I think we had 120 patrons at $10 or $15 when Macon made Jaws and 2 or 3 other models that same month. He's in it for the long term. Eddie is in it for the long term. We are all in it for the long term, for sure. And the more we grow, the better we can get. That's why Macon hasn't jumped full on stream yet. But after seeing this increase that we've seen recently, Macon is almost ready to jump ship, but he doesn't want to just walk out from his job. So he wants to do it the right way, just like Eddie did. Eddie gave his job a month in advance notice, and he jumped straight into full-time with us. And you know, him having a kid. This isn't supposed to be a guilt trip, you know, but him having a kid, Macon's building a house. You know, I've got a family too. Like, this is how we make our money. And there's going to be a video another day explaining why sharing files is not good for that one or two, there's one or two people out there who think they're sneaky. We appreciate those who are here with us and who are here to stay. Like, that's awesome. You guys are the reason that we do it. I mean, not just because we love doing this. Like, this is like a dream job. From the moment I saw a 3D printer and I saw the potential, like being artsy, liking to paint and build things and doing crafts and stuff with my hands, I didn't ever think in the beginning days that this is where I'd be with it. I thought I would just be making models and selling the models, you know, that I would buy from other people like Macon. When I bought his Thomas Shelby, I wanted it for me, but then I found 3 other people that wanted it, and I made them ones, painted them, sent them to them. And I thought that was going to be my job, which is why I started that store. But I definitely enjoy this way more than all of that. Like, I like making, I like painting, but also like interacting with you guys and seeing some of the responses when, like with Alfred, how is Alfred going to be a cool model? And I mean, I've heard multiple compliments on that for the last week, saying, you know, that Alfred's probably the coolest model I've seen in a long time. The Harley Quinn got a lot of love. Like, this Jon Snow seems to be very. I didn't think Jon Snow was going to be a hit. I had to tell him. I said, hey, well, I was like, we'll do it. But if people aren't here for it because there's already a couple of Jon Snow models out there, then I'm like, you know, we can't keep going down that road because we got to stay different, and we all agree. Like I said, we're all here for the long term, so we understand that we have to bust our butt now for the small bucks to get to the big bucks and just do the best we can, you know. As long as you guys are here, we're here. It's that simple. The longer y'all stick around, the more models we'll make. But yeah, like I said, we've all decided when we get to 500 would be the best option. We could probably do it between 400 and 450 patrons. That's when we'll bring in the third artist. Anime is not really our thing, but we've got a lot of things. We've been exploring. I've been joining Facebook groups. I was a temporary mod on 3D printing beginners and pros page for a little while. The slight differences caused that to come to an end, which is totally fine. Those guys are cool. The admins of that page and stuff, I'm glad they got some new ones in there to help them do it. It was even already getting hard on me to try to sit there and monetize that page along with everything else that I'm constantly doing on the computer in terms of the Patreon and whatnot. So this is for, you know, it's for the best. Eric, your group was awesome, by the way. It's a nice big group. I love that. I thank you guys for letting me be a part of that for a little while. All good things must come to an end. Now I got to read some of these comments so I can understand what's happening here. There is a lot of busts that get put out there. Sid's busts are fantastic, though. Yeah, it doesn't matter where you are. $25 a month. You might as well. What's the point of having the Patreon? Right. I ain't trying to take out a loan for groceries. I mean, this economy's not great, but Bray Wyatt's idea was James Pike. We did a painting contest. Him and Gruesome, I think, on Discord were the two painting winners. They between one photo and the other one's three, there was a little misunderstanding, and luckily, winners were able to work together, and they, instead of one person getting two models, they decided they would each pick their own. And Gary, the groundskeeper, the zombie groundskeeper, that was the other one, along with the Fiend model. I think I have the drawing of that somewhere, of the yeah, Gruesome. So what he did was he had a I don't know if I still have the picture saved on my computer. They're in the Discord channel though, if you feel like scrolling back. Um, there was he had an actual head sculpt. I want to say it was a life-size head sculpt that he had been designing with actual clay, and he took a picture of that, and then along with a what looked like a Procreate image where he drew digitally the rest of the sculpture, which is what you guys have now with the base and the tombstones, the hands coming out from the ground, um, the vines wrapped around the headstone, the lantern, like the clothing details, all of that was him. And that's basically what the winner of the Wheel of Vengeance is aiming, is that top prize if they get to do something along those lines. Just like James did with the Bray Wyatt, where he put an idea together and sent us a picture for us to see what it was. The Harley Quinn design was, the pose of her was all on Eddie, and adding the little teddy bear and stuff, that was Eddie. The design for the base, that was Eddie, but the general idea, that was another one I had came up with. Same thing with Alfred. In our Vengeance Studios Batman, that's over here behind me on the wall. Patriot, that's actually just straight from the show or the movie, when he's on his rampage after the middle son was killed, the second oldest son was killed, and he's trying to go free the Joker, Heath Ledger. Like, we really want to do some Underworld models too, but everybody's doing them, and they look great, and that's why we're just not jumping on it. Because why? Yeah, Macon did Arthur and John, and he's doing Dutch next month. I believe Dutch is for November. That was all Macon. I just sent him the picture of the cover, and he took it from there. This is way easier to answer questions on than having to respond to comments. Macon's just only getting better too. Him and Eddie both. Every month, I feel like the quality goes up and up. It's never just okay. Like, we've seen a lot of comments on Henry Cavill's Wolverine. People are like, "Oh, that doesn't look like Henry Cavill," and I'm like, "Dude, it's a spitting image of Henry Cavill in his angry Superman face." It blows my mind that people can't see it. Somebody said it looked like a young Danny Trejo, and I'm like, that's not even remotely close. Now, the only one I can laugh at and agree with is Frankenstein looking like some Neil Patrick Harris, and that was legendary. right? Danny Trejo, of all people, looks nothing like him. I mean, I didn't see no Salma Hayek tattoo on his chest or the handlebar mustache. Mrs. Doubtfire is one of those ones where it's like, do people really want a Mrs. Doubtfire on their shelf? Now, a Robin Williams diorama is a different story. That's cool. But we also got to be careful with dioramas because they take a long time, and which causes months to have to focus on them, instead of being able to do some variety, like already dedicating a line to the animated series, and Monsters is doing 2 lineups every month. So that's 2 of the same things every month that y'all get. We might save those diorama ideas for the 10-month reward models, the ones that we do. We already did Forrest Gump. You need to go in that backlog, bro. Him sitting on the bench with his chocolates is already in the models, or is already in the backlog of models. Max, you're not allowed to comment again until you go through the backlog. I want to do a Jack Sparrow. I think that'd be cool. But again, there's a couple of them out there that are really good. And we already did a Jack Sparrow. What am I talking about? We did Jack Sparrow and Captain Barbossa. See, I'm forgetting models that we've done because we've already done so many. Oh. And we got everybody wanting this Indiana Jones model. And I'm looking at our Indiana Jones model. But people want him with his dad on a motorcycle car, sidecar thing. Like, it's getting a lot of love, and I just don't get it. It's not for me. If we do it, it's for you guys. It's not for me personally. But I like the niche things. Like, there was only one good Zorro model out there, and now we have the best Zorro model, I think, of Antonio Banderas. We did the Last of the Mohicans. Like, that stuff's cool to me. What else? We did the Feral Predator. We still need to do the other half of that. See, the only problem, I saw the Married with Children in the suggestions, and I don't see that bringing in, anybody. What we do is we look at the reactions that the pictures get, and if the reactions are there, the model will probably eventually get made. If there's 1 or 2 hearts, it gets deleted after a few months, because we don't want to keep we keep it there for a few months to give people chances to scroll through, give newcomers a chance to go back and look. But 4 or 5 months goes by and nobody's loving on it, it's just going to get deleted. I haven't commented a single time, Max. Henry Cavill Highlander, that's very early to try to talk about that. We haven't even, there's nothing for that yet. And I know once the movie comes out, everyone's going to be making it. Just like when Witcher came on TV, there was a new Witcher model every week. There's a good Freddie Mercury out there too. We're very, we don't want to ignore what you guys request. Like, that's not the goal at all. Um, it's it's more so looking at the character and then looking up those models online. And if we see 100 of them, we're probably not going to do it. Yeah, we've done a Spider-Man. We try to do a version that's not been done 100 times. I mean, trying to do a Michael Keaton Batman now, everybody's got one. So it's like, we just need ours just to complete our lineup type thing. I feel like that's an older. You're talking about the older Titans and stuff. Because honestly, Clash of Titans would be a cool series to hit because no one's done um, the Sam Worthington versions of Clash of the Titans. I don't think I've seen anything from that at all. Like, that would be cool because then we could do Liam Neeson's Zeus and Danny Huston's not Aquaman. What's his name? Poseidon. It's basically what Poseidon or what Aquaman's based off of, dude. They were like, how can we make this into it? Oh, we just change his name. He talks to fishes. It's the same person. Sorry, Andre's blowing me up. But some new head sculpt pictures. Got some scars on there. Some more skin detail. I'm not gonna download and pull it up, but that's what I'll do. So you guys can kind of see. Looks good, I think. All of this definitely will be taken into consideration. There's never going to be a yes or a no. I mean, there's going to be a few definites, but there'll never be no's. Just maybes. A lot of maybes and a lot of we'll sees, and a few definites. Okay, with definite no's. A kid's dream in 1981. Seeing this, these are kind of before my time. Like, there's some movies from before my time that I do absolutely love, like Godfathers, Scarface. I'd have to go look over at my movies. I've got quite a few. Y'all saw a picture of my living room setup, all my VHS tapes. I'd like to do a Goodfellas diorama, maybe even of just the cover of Goodfellas with Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro and oh my gosh, what's his name? He voiced Tommy Vercetti. Fantasia can suck it. That's a definite no. Ray Liotta, thank you. I'm just kidding. No, but we probably won't make Mickey Mouse. Yeah, I'm not big into Disney lately, so I haven't seen Casino. I'm sorry. You've had great ideas up until Fantasia, so you're definitely doing good. It's a definitely maybe now. Definitely not maybe. How about definitely not maybe? How about that one? I can't go watch Casino right now. It's almost 1 in the morning. I might turn on Casino tomorrow if I can find it streaming somewhere. I'm not adding another app. I'm about to delete some. I'm about to get rid of Peacock. Except it's the only place I can watch Yellowstone now. So once I finish Yellowstone, I'm going to cancel Peacock. I love mob movies. That's why I'm really digging this Penguin show. I'm thinking that we should make a model of Sophia Falcone. I just want to wait till the show's over before we add anything from the Penguin because I want to see how it plays out. Lost Boys is going to be a redo. We already did I'm drawing blanks tonight with actors. Dude from 24 voiced Metal Gear and Metal Gear 5, unfortunately. All right, I guess I'll watch Casino before I delete Peacock too. Yeah, Kiefer Sutherland. Thank you. Um, we did him, but I think we're gonna redo him. Something about some thick thighs on that model. Again, that was by the modeler who's no longer with us. I was excited to hear that Kiefer Sutherland was doing, or Kiefer Sutherland, however you pronounce it, was going to do the voice for Snake. But then I reheard David Hayter's voice, and I'm sorry. But Sutherland, I'm glad he's not doing it anymore, and that they got David Hayter to come back for Metal Gear Delta that's coming out. Probably the game I'm most excited about in the next 2 or 3 years. Yeah, I've never cared for Lost Boys either, but it seems to have a big cult following, which is fine. But like personally, I want to do like we were gonna do Aaliyah's uh Acacia, or however you pronounce her name, from Queen of the Damned, but then we saw two models of her like within 3 or 4 months come out. So we've put her on hold. We would really like to do some Queen of the Damned and then Interview with the Vampire, Tom Cruise and um, Brad Pitt. I think that would be cool. Not this dumb crap I keep seeing on Netflix or whatever it is, the show. Everyone who reads always says books are better. I get it. I've only read one book series that had a movie adaptation, and the books were definitely better. See, Armand, it would be bad. It would be awesome. I could get behind a Groundhog's Day, I think, too. Um, Death Stranding. I think somebody already made a model, and I never played the game only because I heard it was really boring. Like I used to play the mess out of some video games, and I've kind of I've replayed Red Dead 3 times because I'm new games aren't exciting me anymore. The new Assassin's Creed sucked. Oh, speaking of video games though, and kind of one I did speak with Macon. I think we're aiming for early the year, but we're gonna do um, Ghost of Toshima. We're gonna do Jin Sakai. He's in our future, and I'd really like to do a Tom Cruise from The Last Samurai as well. We're going down some Japanese route. See, it's like the historical stuff. I love that stuff so much. That's why I'm a big fan of the Red Dead stuff. The um, Kutan's been. I Black Flag is definitely my favorite for Assassin's Creed, but I also think um, it was Kutan that did Last Samurai. Kutan's also been doing. He did Shogun stuff, and Kutan's a buddy, so I'm not trying to do a bunch of his stuff. But Assassin's Creed, I don't want to say it peaked at Black Flag, but because it was the same combat from 3 and from Rogue. But I did my favorite. It's and a lot of people are going to dog on me for my two favorites, but if Black Flag didn't exist, Origins 3 and oh my gosh, again, Unity. Unity's parkour was absolutely beautiful. The city, absolutely gorgeous. The graphics, when it wasn't glitching, absolutely amazing. Storyline was kind of but the gameplay was fun. I don't care what anybody says. I love the parkour in that game so much. The down and the ups of how fast you could do it, how smooth it looked when you did it. And even the fighting was awesome once you figured it out. And Assassin's Creed 3 was literally the Patriot in a video game form once you became Connor. With that tomahawk, you can't tell me somebody didn't look at that scene from the Patriot when he went all ham and did the tree cover and then ran down with his tomahawk and his knife and murdered a bunch of people in that trench. You cannot tell me that that person didn't go, that's going to be the next Assassin's Creed game. And then they made that into Assassin's Creed 3. They even used the same music. The first hour of that game, or 2 hours, however long that intro with dude was, that sucked. But the rest was fantastic. Syndicate was, I had high hopes for Syndicate, and I was hoping it was going to be, okay, so what I've learned, before I get into Syndicate, what I've learned is Assassin's Creed takes movies and makes them into games. And if you don't believe me, Assassin's Creed 3 was the Patriot with a different story, so it didn't feel like the Patriot. Assassin's Creed Black Flag was basically the show Black Sails with an Assassin's Creed storyline. Assassin's Creed Unity, especially with their DLCs, was a Three Musketeers cover. And then Origins was basically the Mummy. Valhalla was based off of Vikings, the TV show. And Odyssey was based off of 300. Someone tell me I'm wrong. I'm a big Assassin's Creed fan. That's why I know all these things. I've played them since day one. And the only one I have not gone all the way through, or the only two I've not gone all the way through, is Odyssey and Valhalla. And I love Vikings. It's just there's so much to do. It's become too RPG that I don't enjoy it. I enjoyed the Mirage game better than those, even though it was a step back. But because it's more Assassin's Creed than the last two Assassin's Creed games have been. and Ubisoft saw that Ghost of Yote, or however you pronounce it, their new Ghost, the sequel to Ghost of Toshima, and Assassin's Creed is Ubisoft's not ready to release their Assassin's Creed Shadows anymore either. Yeah, Valhalla did feel repetitive. I started it twice, and I still haven't finished it. And yes, Mirage was short enough to where it's not overkill on the game. It was just a bridge to give us something to play while we waited for their samurai game that's still probably not going to hold up to Sucker Punch. Yeah, Shadows looks like garbage. I mean, I'll still play it. I'm gonna play it. It's Assassin's Creed, but I'm not excited that I'm about to have to drop $70 or $80 or whatever it is the games are going up to these days. But trying to think. When I look around, it reminds me of things. Good night, bro. Yeah, I don't do that. I don't do soccer games or racing games anymore. I loved racing games. There was one, I think it was called Grid. It was basically Need for Speed meets Mario Kart. It was like adult Mario Kart. That game was fun. I haven't found a good racing game since then. Now, if I want to race, I just turn on GTA 5 and go online. Dude, we've been streaming for 2 hours. I was not expecting this. This was supposed to be for the Wheel of Vengeance. This will do maybe twice a month. I've got GTA on PS5 and on my PC. I have Arkham or Arkham Knights, the Batman game where you play as everybody but Batman. I have that on my PC. Then I have some Battlefield game on my PC, but the rest is console. I'm a PlayStation fan. Xbox can suck it. I don't do sports games. Not since PlayStation 2 days. When a company pumps out a game every year, it's not a good game these days. Black Myth Wukong. I'd like Young Guns. I'm gonna have to look at a trailer for Young Guns. I'd really like to make some models from Black Sails, but every time I talk about it, people are like, I don't know what that is. And y'all are missing the greatest 4-season show to ever exist. And I say that because a lot of shows, including Game of Thrones, peak around 4 or 5, and then they crash and burn, and they have a terrible ending. Dexter, Game of Thrones, Lost, from what I heard. Even Smallville got off the charts a little bit. Walking Dead, all of them seem to start out great. They build and they build, they build, they hit a peak, and then it's just like the writers don't know what to do anymore. And Black Sails was one of those few shows that got to their peak and they said, before we can destroy our show, we're going to end our show. And they ended it after their 4th season. It was like the coolest show ever. If y'all haven't seen Black Sails, I highly recommend watching it. I don't know if we're gonna do anybody from the Arkham show except for Cameron Mahonigan's Joker. He's probably the only character I think I would even want to consider from the Arkham show. I watched it all, but again, it wasn't. I don't know. Wasn't all that for me, even being a big Batman fan. Yeah, Dexter was awesome until season 6, and then it fell apart. I don't agree with that. The sequel was fantastic until episode 10, and then it just did season 8 all over again and destroyed itself. So I've got high hopes for their prequel and their requel that's coming out after this prequel. Young Guns had a crazy awesome cast. After you watch both movies, you'll get a nice time. All right, we'll see. This is also coming from the. Oh no, it's not the same person. Never mind. Oh, I can agree with that too. Sons of Anarchy first 3 seasons were like insanely good. Well, 1 was great, 2 was kind of 3 went awesome, 4 was terrible, 5 was great until Laying the Pipe. That episode. It's the Opie episode for those of you who aren't familiar with what Laying the Pipe means. And then it came full circle and ended great in season 6 and 7. Lots of emotions. So yeah, I can say Sons of Anarchy was great, but had bad spots. But it's up there in probably my top 15 favorite shows. I'm a TV buff. I'm a cinephile, so it's hard for me to have favorites. Like we might just have to make a new Crow model from Bill Skarsgård because people hate on it so much, and I took a chance and I decided to watch it for myself, and it's my second favorite Crow movie. It's better than City of Angels, better than Salvation, and it's better than Wicked Prayer. It's not as good as Brandon Lee's, of course, but it's the second best, and that's to some it's not saying a lot, but it's way more comic accurate than Brandon Lee's was. Nah, Opie got me. I mean, Bobby sucked, but yeah, hearing this cast doesn't make me want to watch this movie. Emilio Estevez. The Mighty Ducks, man. I swear to God, I was there. Why not a night at the Roxbury? We should do that. I guess you got a point there. But when I read a cast like that, none of them are remotely close to any of my favorite actors. So that's a put Kevin Costner in something, I'm going to watch it. I didn't even know about Yellowstone until recently. No, you want to know a good movie? It's called hold on a minute. Old Henry. I would love to get us a model of Old Henry. If you guys have not seen that, that was good. And that was an unsuspecting good. That was like a history of violence good. I don't know if you've seen A History of Violence with Viggo Mortensen, but that was like a very slow movie until the third chapter when it punches you right in the face. Somebody saying Billy the Kid reminded me of Old Henry. Watch that movie. Let me tell you who's in Old Henry. I forget his name. He was in some of the Marvel movies. Tim Blake Nelson and Stephen Dorff. Yeah, even Trace Adkins was in it. Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou was good. I think I've seen Silverado. I think that's one I watched with my mom. Looking at Young Gun images, I think I can do that. All right, guys, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to have to call it a night. I'm tired. It's great chatting with you all. I appreciate y'all coming in, watching this. Appreciate you guys' support every month on that Patreon. We just need to spread like wildfire. That's our goal. Our artists deserve more than what they get for sure. And they are so appreciative of the growth that we've had, the compliments that they've seen. They don't talk a lot, but they do read the comments. And I don't know if you guys watched the video from earlier, but they both were very thankful. I am too. Please don't get me wrong. It has been fun sitting here chatting with all you guys. I do like this. I see why Henry enjoys it too. So, and I know a lot of you guys are from there. So, much love to Henry from Creative Collector for kind of introducing me to a lot of you and you to us. But yeah, so on that note, keep an eye out for next time we post a video and next time we go live. Like I said, I don't mind doing this. We could probably do it every week if it becomes a thing, but no guarantees. Just do me a favor, share the channel when you guys do a paint up. Tag the Facebook group, VS Studio. When you're posting a print or a paint up or whatever, just put model is by and then put the @ symbol and VS Studio, and that'll take them to our Facebook group. And then in the comments, if you want to put Patreon link, that's awesome too. That's how, I guess when you put a link, it doesn't show as many people because it leads outside of Facebook and Facebook wants to keep you in Facebook. So when you tag a group, it gets seen by way more people. So, but yeah, no, it's 1 a.m. here. So I'm going to call it. But like, again, thank you guys. To those who have messaged me on Patreon while we were doing this, I will respond to you all tomorrow when it's a new day. I've had coffee. And I quit smoking cigarettes. This is next, so I won't have that in the morning. But normally I don't talk to people till that. But doing good now. 2 months clean. Again, thank you guys for coming. Thanks for showing up here. Thanks for watching. Congratulations to Yogi Bear on your free head sculpt. And we will catch you next time. You all have a good night. See y'all later.